We are back for the best compositions in set 5.5. So there is one composition that I think is really OP, but not a lot of people are playing. There's a one trick in Korea. He's ranked 2 right now, and he is playing a Skirmisher Knight build that we will get into later. Apart from that, we are seeing lots of other new builds. Let's just get right into it. I looked at the games for all the top players within the past 12 hours because there was a hotfix recently to a lot of the really broken comps in the first day of the set, but those have all been nerfed. So in the past 12 hours, Sentinels are by far the most played by the best players. And then after that, we have Aphelios. Aphelios is holding strong with Deathblade. And then we have an assassin build. There's a one trick. I think he's the rank 1 in Korea right now. He is spamming assassins all day. And then the rank 2 in Korea, he's doing the Skirmisher Knight build that we were talking about before. Rounding out the B tier, we have Redeemed Vel'Koz, Dawnbringer Karma, and Forgotten Draven, and Nightbringer Yasuo. Pretty much all the comps that we've seen that have been dominating for the previous set, they're all in the B tier right now. I'm not sure if that was intended or not by the game creators. And then lastly, we have Cavalier Cannoneer. You guys might be wondering, why is this so low in the tier list? Well, too many people are playing it, so a lot of people were playing it when it was OP, but now that everyone thinks it's OP, too many people are playing it, and this comp can't support that many players, so it's being played a lot less now. If you guys look at the games by a lot of the top players, you'll see that they played it a lot yesterday, but today they're not playing it that much. Of course, this may change in the future because now since no one's playing it, people might be playing it even more. In the C tier, we're not going to go too deep into this. The Abomination build got nerfed too hard. Vayne Reroll I've actually seen work pretty decently at lower levels. And then Hellion and Kayle Knights, these are 2 builds that did okay, but like nothing really that special. But that doesn't mean that they can't pop out in the future. So before we get into how to play every single composition, just a quick word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, it is time to raid. With over 100 artifacts and 500 different champions with unique abilities and skill sets, you have the chance to develop a team and raid your way. This month, something that hasn't happened before is going to happen. They've just released a brand new legendary champion based off of the huge gaming personality Ninja. Now this champion is a little special, and not just because he wields both a katana and a bow. His origins are also unique. Born of a noble Bannerlord warrior, Ninja's life was spared as Shadowkin raiders laid waste to his family's manor. An infant ninja was then disappeared by Shadowkin and spirited away to a different land. He was then raised by Shadowkin and taught the arts of shadow and war, and later on became their greatest weapon. The good news is that Ninja is available for free right now, so everyone can get him. But he's only going to be available until October 15th. He's a super limited edition champion, and once that day comes, you'll never be able to get Ninja ever again, so you really want to start playing soon. If that's not enough, Raid's got non-stop schedule of summer events and activities, and we're talking about special fusion events to get legendary champions, tournaments against other players, and much, much more. They've also released 5 brand new champions, which I'm hoping to try out as well. If you want to get a huge start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description below or scan my QR code, and you'll get the epic hero Chonaru, who is amazing on the Doom Tower, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so that you can get an awesome champion right as you get into the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here as you enter the game. Keep in mind, the rewards are again only for new players and only available for the next 30 days. But it's that easy, just check the links in the description or the QR code, and I will see you guys in game.
All right, we are back. Let's go over how to play every single one of these compositions. First up is the Sentinels in the S tier. They're the only S tier comp. It's not because everything else sucks, it's just because they just stand out by far. Lucian is obviously going to be the carry for this composition. He works really well with Deathblade, Hand of Justice, Last Whisper. You could add in other items too. I've seen a lot of different combinations work. Some people build IE, some people stack Hodges. They go like 2 or 3 Hand of Justices. And of course, if you get Radiant items that aren't one of these, they still work really well on him if they provide him the stats he needs, which is attack damage, attack speed, and critical strike. So if we scroll down a bit, you guys can see that I have like the core units listed out here. So the core is Lucian, Senna, Action, Gallia, Rakan, and then a 6th Sentinel. I like using Aurelia, but you could use anyone you get to 2-star. And then after that, you add either 4 Cannoneer, Mystics, or Ironclad. So in this build right here, we have the Mystics, but you guys can add an Ironclad, you guys can add in 4 Cannoneer. If you get Spatula items from the Tome of Traits, it's really easy to go into a lot of different things because of that. There's also another version, which is the 3 Sentinel version, and they run more complementary synergies such as 4 Cannoneer or the stuff that we listed out before, or random legendary units. They just throw in like a Jeff Bezos comp and just play all the expensive units with a 3 Sentinel start. Sorry for the delay, guys. A lot of people are DMing me, asking me like, yo, where's the tier list? I always do it every Friday. The reason is because that gives time for people to actually perfect the compositions. If you release a tier list right as a patch drops, all those comps are gonna suck in like 1 or 2 days because people are going to refine those comps a lot or find counters to them. So that's why I've always released my meta snapshots on Friday. So after that, we are going to go into the A tiers. Aphelios, he was kind of ignored for most of set 5, but now he is back in set 5.5 with the vengeance because he has a lot of different builds he could go. He loves many different items and he's just all around really solid. So I put him in the back corner. I like having Deathblade, Bloodthirster, and Gwynsu's. I've seen people put Last Whisper on him. I've seen people put IE on him. I think I talked about it down here. Shojin is another really good item on Aphelios too. But here we have the 4 Nightbringer version. We have 9 units out here. That is a pretty big comp. You don't normally get to level 9 in most games. But if you do, this is a comp. Of course, you could switch out one of these units if you get a spatula item, which is pretty common in this set. So for example, if you get like a Nightbringer spatula, you could take out Lee Sin or Diana. If you get a Ranger spatula, you could look into going 4 Rangers. Lots of different options there. So scrolling down a bit, I listed out the core units again. That is going to be Aphelios, Action, Gwen, Rel, and Sejuani. And then you add a combination of the following, either 4 Nightbringers, Mystic, or Ironclad, or even Revenant. I see some people play like 3 Revenant with the Aphelios build, just using Revenant as a front line. Lots of different options there. Now onto the next build, we have Assassins. Assassins, again, there's a one trick, and I listed him out here that you guys can check out later. If you guys go to my website, BunnyMuffins.lol, and then you guys can click on all the comps and the links there. I do suggest bookmarking this page because I probably will be updating it again in the next couple days, just because the first couple days of the set are so volatile. But here we have the typical Nocturne carry that we've seen before. You could go 4 or 6 Assassin. You only go 6 Assassin if you get an Assassin spatula. But the items I've seen work best on Nocturne are Last Whisper, Runons, and Rageblade. And that was just pretty much analyzing this guy here. He's the rank 1 in Korea right now, and those are like the item combinations that he likes to build most often. After that, Fiddlesticks is going to be your secondary carry. You put in AP items on him, such as Morello. You could put in like Hat, all that good stuff there. Gwen, I just use her as the buff bot because she always wants to be around your units, because Gwen gives a little pool around your units that gives them bonuses throughout the fight. So you want to give her Zeke's Herald, and I like the new Banshee's Claw. It seems pretty cool. It allows people to get that much more defensive stats, and I like it more than Locket personally. But this is just typically 4 Revenant, 4 Assassin, and then anything else there. I like adding in Gwen for Mystic, but you don't always get Gwen, so you could add anything else there. To play this comp, you do a slow roll at 7 for Nocturne 3. In case you guys are new, because it is the beginning of the set, I know a lot of players like to join TFT during that time. Slow rolling just means rolling down to 50 gold every single turn, trying to find a lot for a particular unit. You guys can check out the leveling guide. I believe it is at the top of the page if you guys want more info on that. It's from the last set, but all the info still stands. So that is pretty much it for the Assassin comp. Again, you want to use a lot of positioning to figure out where the enemy carries are so that you kill them as quickly as possible, because that is how the comp really shines. So the next comp here is the like special comp of the week, I guess we could call it. It is the Skirmisher Knight build. And again, I've seen people try 6 Skirmisher builds. They do okay, but they don't do as well as this one, because this guy, he got to rank 2 pretty much only playing this composition. Like, we could check it out here. He has played Jax in like 16 of his games, and he's played, and you can see that at the top he's playing a lot of Knights. He essentially just goes 4 Knights plus whatever carry, and he likes Jax the most. But here's the build. The 4 Knights he has are Garen, Galio, Nautilus, and Thresh, and then after that he adds in Rel and Jax for Ironclad, and then his favorite items for Jax are Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and Infinity Edge, and then he adds in Aurelia and Viego for the 2 Skirmishers. Oh, one thing I want to note, guys, if you guys check the top here, you can see that this guy, he isn't like consistently one of the top players, but he figured out this comp and he is destroying everyone with it because he is rank 2 in a very highly populated region. which goes to show that in the beginning of the set, the person who innovates is going to get rewarded if you figure out the right comps, and he clearly did that, and that means anyone can do that, because if we look at his previous sets, you'll see that he was challenger, but he wasn't like top 1 challenger or anything. He's not even 1000 LP. Not that we're LP shaming or anything like that, but you guys kind of get the picture. In the beginning of the set, it's anyone's game, and it could be yours to rise to the top as well. But moving on to the next builds, we have the B tier. Vel'Koz 6 redeemed is going to start us off. This is just a classic 6 redeemed build. There are a couple of different options for Vel'Koz. I see a lot of people playing him with invokers. Like there's a couple of 4 invoker builds with Vel'Koz, but I feel like 6 redeemed is the easiest to play. You just throw on a Shojin, Hand of Justice, and Jeweled Gauntlet for Vel'Koz. As per usual, nothing much has changed here. We added in Ivern and Volibear for 2 Invoker and adding in Revenant just because Volibear is really good. I like having Garen on the side. Warmogs is good on Garen because Warmogs work so great on him. Some people like to play Lux carry with the Vel'Koz. If you happen to get a Lux 3, do go for it. If you do end up doing that, put Lux in the corner and Vel'Koz to the side of her. And I list down here, you could also do like a 3 redeemed build with more complementary synergies and legendaries because the 6 redeemed isn't really that necessary. On to the next build, we are going to talk about Dawnbringer Karma. So Dawnbringer Karma, it got a lot of nerfs in the last patch. If you guys saw my patch preview, which I release on the Tuesday before every single patch, this comp got hit really hard. It's still playable, just not that great compared to before, and all the other stuff is just that much better. But hey, if you get a Karma 2-star for free and you have items for her, you're not gonna not play her, you know what I mean? So the build is like literally the exact same thing. You just go 6 Dawnbringer and then add in an Invoker, and you could go like 4 Invoker build if you want to do that in the late game, or you could just add in a Volibear, call it a day. Decent build, not much else to say there. You guys already saw me play this way too much in the last set, so if you want more info on that, go ahead and check out the old video. I probably will be remaking that later too. Now on to the next comp, we have Forgotten Draven. Believe it or not, Draven is probably one of the worst carries right now out of the forecast, but he's still played a little bit. There's like 1 player who plays him, and he does this build. I forgot to mark down his name. I'll try to find it later. When you lose Mordekaiser, which was the secondary carry of the comp, you're going to lose a ton of power. They also took out a couple of Forgotten units, so it is a lot different from before. I've seen players run 6 Forgotten without Legionnaire, and you just put on a Rage Blade on Draven to get attack speed. There's no way that this is actually the best build, but right now, that is all people have figured out. No one has found like a good Legionnaire to put in to complement the Draven quite yet. But the build is Nautilus and Rel and 6 Forgotten. There are only 6 Forgotten units now. And if you get a Spatula for Forgotten, you could take out Vayne, for example, to add in a Legionnaire. So Spatulas are the name of the game right now, and they change up a lot of comps just by doing things a little bit at a time. Hecarim is going to be your main tank despite not being a 3-star Hecarim. You only go for 2-star Hecarim, and he likes Redemption and Bramblevest. And then for Draven, Bloodthirster is pretty necessary, and then the best damage item is probably Last Whisper, and again, since you don't have Legionnaires, Rage Blade helps quite a bit for attack speed to ramp up towards the later part of the game. There's also another version of Draven where you go for 4 Forgotten and 4 Knights. That one's pretty popular too if you want to give that a try, because champions like Vayne and Misfortune don't really do too much in this composition, so you don't really want to play them, so probably adding in 4 Knights is a little stronger than what we have here. So on to the next build, we have Nightbringer Yasuo. This is the same nonsense we had from before, just a few champions have changed. We no longer run Dragon Slayer because that synergy doesn't exist anymore, but we have the RFC, we have the Rudons, we have the Hand of Justice on Yasuo as per usual, and then you just slow roll at 7 for 3-star Yasuo. The core of the build is just 4 Nightbringer, and that is going to be Yasuo, Lee Sin, Sejuani, and Diana. And then if you want to go for 6 Nightbringer, you add in Vlad and Aphelios. You don't have to do that. You could go for 4 Legionnaire. We have Riven in right now, but you could add in 2 more Legionnaires. You could also just play a bunch of tanks or a bunch of random legendaries to complement him instead. A little bit of an inconsistent build, but some people are still liking it. On to the next build, we have the popular Cavalier Cannoneer. And again, normally this build would be a lot higher, but too many people have played it, so it's not that great if you are contesting 2 other people for the build, unlike the 4-cost carries. Whenever you are running a reroll comp, you can't have more than 2 people going for it, and sometimes you can't even have more than 1 person going for it. Essentially, you want to slow roll at level 6 to 3-star all your 2-cost units, then you level up, try to get a 3-star Misfortune, and add in other guys later. The best items on Misfortune are going to be Shojin, Jeweled Gauntlet, and Hand of Justice. This gives her a balance of casting a lot, doing a lot of damage, and healing. Hecarim, Legs, Warmogs, Bramblevest, and Sunfire. The core on Hecarim is probably just the first two, Warmogs and Bramblevest, but I find that Sunfire helps you win a lot of games in the early game to save HP, and it gives him kind of like an inevitability in the later parts of the fight. Now onto the next build, we are going to go to the C tiers. So ignore the pictures, but Kayle Knights has been decent. You do like Kayle with 4 Knights, same as last set. I'll update this build next week. Abomination Zyra, this comp was really popular in the early part of the set, but they hotfixed it, so don't play this anymore until someone figures out a new build. Hellion I'll update next week, and then Vayne Reroll, I'll update this next week as well. But I've actually seen this work really well data-wise in lower elo, so definitely something to try out if you guys aren't like Master Plus. So that is going to be it for the comps. I'll update the items later because I need to take out like every single shadow item here, but essentially the items you want to go for on Carousel, it's still going to be Sword because Deathblade is so powerful in the top comps. After that, I say Critical Strike is pretty good because a lot of people are building Handed Justice on their carries again. So pretty much just Sword or Crit in the early game, and that's really all I can recommend for now. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be coming out with a lot of guides later, and we will come out with some gameplay. So if that is of interest to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and also check out the links in the description. Oh, and I need to call you guys out because we did a giveaway in the last video, and I told you guys to comment and subscribe to enter. But come on, I thought the likes were implied. We got 952 comments and only 470 likes on that video. Come on, guys, you gotta be doing better than that. I guess next time I'll ask for a like as well when I do a giveaway, but I thought we were tighter than that, all right? Also, I will be trying to update this throughout the week because, again, things are so volatile in the early parts of the set. So definitely bookmark my website because I'll just be doing the updates on the website, and then I'll come out with an update next Friday as well as I do for every Friday. So thanks so much for watching, guys. And again, thanks to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, for sponsoring the video. I will see you all later.